Here I am in Armidale at the University of New England, and they have this awesome mountain bike track or trail here that I rode probably almost 4 years ago. And 4 years ago it was quite small, and this is the older part of the trail network that I'm on now. So you come in from the car park at the university, and it's kind of cool because it's a bit old school, a bit rutted, a bit rocky. I do like trails like these. And I'm just basically remembering where I rode 4 years ago to see where I can get to. Now there's a lot of pine forest. This is the section I'm in here now, but I knew they were building some new stuff out here because next year, 2024, they've got the World 24-Hour Mountain Bike Championships. So the council jumped in and built an extra 5-6k of trail, which you'll see in a second. Now I'm sitting in a caravan park recording this in the van, and if you hear any background noise, that's what's going on there. So you go over all these little ramps, and there's fences either side of them, so I guess it's to control cattle or something. You can see there's heaps of them. They're actually really fun. And this is the new section. So there's plenty of these little ramps, more than I probably expected. And this new section, you can see looking forward how beautiful it is. It's just out in this big open paddock, and you get into it and you start climbing. And it's not for the faint-hearted. If you don't like climbing, probably not the best place to go riding. I quite like it, but also I'm supposed to be doing an hour easy ride today on my program. So I'm in granny gear going as easy as I can, but some of these hills are just quite heart-wrenching. Another one of these little ramps. So you climb, and then it starts sort of rolling down a little bit, but not really. I took 2 water bottles with me and drank both of them in the hour, because this is a 1 hour ride I'm doing, and a little bit of the downhill. So really cool berms. They did a great job building this. Little jumps if you're into that, and quite loose over hard as you can see, but grippy. It was really good. And I'm thinking, here we go, it's all downhill now. Gather a little bit of speed, and I've never ridden this, so I'm a little bit cautious. But then suddenly, bang, we go up again. And this section is probably a little bit steeper. It's not as long, but all these switchbacks. So I'm in my granny gear, just spinning up these switchbacks, and it just keeps going. So great little fitness trail. And if you're around Armidale, you really got to come here. It's really good fun. And the 24-hour they're doing here next year, the World Champs, geez, that's going to be tough going around this circuit for 24 hours, anyone doing solo. So switchback after switchback, just keep on climbing. And it flattens out a little bit, but it's gorgeous scenery. Now the downhill kind of starts. So they'd had a lot of rain here, and it looked like there was a few cattle walking over the track. So there's a few cattle hoof marks around the place. But it was pretty well maintained as far as I was concerned. Very flowy. I'd like to go back now I've ridden this and see if I can go a little bit faster coming downhill. You're always a bit cautious first time you do it. And another little pinchy climb. So it's not flat by any means. You're up or down. And some of the ups are really hard. But again, I like that sort of riding, so this really suited me. Another one of the downhills. So these berms are made really well. You can really hold your speed through there. One of the faster downhill sections with some jumps, if that's your scene. Not mine. Now this section, they actually cut out the side of the hill, or the mountain. There's quite a steep berm there. That was a lot of fun. I went up pretty high. And you come out towards the end of this new section, which I think is about 6 kilometres. And you go back over these little ramps. Many of them coming out again, so you can see the fence either side there. So it's like a cattle grid, I guess, but a ramp style. And now I'm back into the pine forest, so back into the older section. So again, this is the section I've ridden before. So I went out, did that big 6K loop. Now back over on the university side here, and I remember this part. It's got these really cool wooden sort of whoop-de-doos. I did remember it. I had forgotten until I got there, but they're a lot of fun. Back into the single track, and it just winds you around, and then you go into this spooky forest. Now, if I'm going 3-4k an hour, 3-4 kilometers per hour here, I'd be surprised. Someone's alarm's going off, if you can hear that. Typical, just as I'm recording. So through the spooky forest we go. Come back across the dam here and back out to where the car park was. So I still had about 15 minutes to ride, so I had to go back in. So this is the trail I started on earlier. But I remembered off to the left here, there's this other hill you can go up. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's another steep climb. So really I only did each track once while I was out here, and that's a good solid hour's ride. And you can see me climbing up this old school hill. Anyone from Armidale will know exactly what this little track's called. I'm sorry, I don't remember. And you climb all the way to the top and come back down, and you can see again it's a bit of an old school trail. So it's nice not to ride manicured tracks all the time. Ride something that's got a bit of character about it, and this certainly does. So it's not overgrown, but the trees are certainly pretty close to you. It just makes you feel like you're going faster, actually. And it's only a short little loop, probably in total maybe a kilometre, if that, so up and back down again. But you're deep in the forest, well, it feels like it. And then you come back out, and I remembered again there was this other switchback climb which I had ridden 4 years ago, and here it is, I found it. So what's interesting here, it's got all these A and B lines. If you look at the A line, it actually, you got to sort of jump up some rocks. I'm not sure if you can really tell there, but there's not a hope in hell I could ride that, so I took the B line every time. Here's another one, you could see a little ramp of rocks there, but this next one, as I ride past it, you should be able to see it. Look at that. How the hell are you supposed to ride up that? I guess some people can. Maybe e-bikes. And you cross this little bridge, and this is the hardest climb. So I followed that arrow, and this is steep. I'm granny gear, just giving everything I've got there, sitting right on the tip of my saddle. And it's not very long, but you're really pushing. Look at that, nearly stopped. That's the steepest part of the whole trail network, I'd say. Maybe 20 metres long, and as you can tell by how overgrown the grass is, not many people ride this section, only maniacs like myself. And a bit of downhill again at the end of that. So this is again the old trail network I'm on, the older sort of berms, the grass is a bit overgrown and all the rest of it. But a whole lot of fun. Really enjoy riding here in Armidale. Last time we rode here it was winter, it was freezing, but it's beautiful here, it's summer. In fact, Armidale was warm. I never thought Armidale got warm, but the weather was perfect. So back down here is where we got the van parked, and I still had about another 4 minutes to go, so I had to get my hour in. So you can see the van ahead of us there. I went straight past that because I'm on program and you've got to get your 60 minutes up. So back down onto this gravel road, and it hooks onto a concrete path. Now this concrete path, if you go the other way to what I'm going, I think it takes you all the way into Armidale City. And there's the van back on the grass. I'll loop around the car park. And it was 1 hour and something seconds, so perfect ride. So if you're ever in Armidale, give it a crack. Anyway guys, thanks for watching and thanks for riding with me.